Sir, voice is okay. Can you please confirm? Perfect. So I'm ready. Whenever you want to start, we can. 1 second. Got a minute. Yeah. Now unmute and everyone can unmute.
Thank you, sir. Just we'll wait for a minute, sir.
Sure.
Good morning, Arunji.
Morning. So we'll start in 2 minutes. We'll start in 2 minutes then.
Fine, sir.
Fine.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Now I request our President, Mr. Rangi, to say a few words about the session. And Mr. Rangi, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, and Arunji, very good morning to you.
Morning, sir. Morning.
Thank you for joining punctually. Good morning, all members. Arun is a great speaker. I think you already attended his sessions also. So right now, this is very important for us, especially recent circulars. We need to hear. Already we have conducted one session also on this, but still members are requested from Edukating also one speaker. Srinivas Siddham Shetty worked a lot on this, and thank you, Secretary Garu, for making a good session, planning a good session today. I welcome all the members for this morning session, and I request you to have good time for this entire session. And any questions are there, kindly you can note down, and at the end we will definitely have a session question and answers. Thank you one and all once again. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, President Garu. Dear members, I take pleasure in introducing our speaker, today's speaker, Sri C.A. Arun Chajar from Delhi. Chajar sir is having qualified CA and CS, having 15 plus years of post-qualification experience. He has authored and reviewed books, ITC draft replies for GST notices and internal control, and which is published by Bharat Law House, and GST Practitioner Advanced Training published by MSME PPDC. Arun sir is co-founder of Edukating, an online platform for resolution of GST queries, helping in notices and appeal for tax professionals. He has provided GST trainings at numerous governmental institutions, colleges, tax bar associations, ICAI study circle, and ICSI branches. A warm welcome to the session, sir. Now the dais is yours. Kindly go ahead with your presentation.
Sure.
And I request the members not to unmute yourself unless otherwise very specific requirement is there, so that the session will get disturbed. We will have a question and answer session at the end of the session, so that the deliberation will flow smoothly. Thank you all. Please.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, first of all, for providing me the opportunity to share my view on recent amendment, whether it's with respect to the Notification Act, rules, etc., all the point. And I'm really thankful to the Telangana Tax Practitioner Association and All India Federation of the Tax Practitioner Association, South Zone, and for providing this excellent opportunity, and thanking Nagesh sir and thanking Srinivasan sir for giving the wonderful introductions to all the members. So now I'm starting my presentation. I hope it's visible. Srinivasan sir, it's visible, right?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Correct. So the today deliberation is divided in two parts. First, we'll talk about law related changes, and second, we will talk about rate related changes. The rate related changes would be small. The law related changes would be comparatively take some time. So we'll spend almost 1 hour on the law related changes, and then almost half an hour on the rate related changes. That would be the agenda for the today entire duration. So first we are starting with the GST registration related changes. In the GST registration, they are saying that now the PAN linked mobile number and email ID that would be fetched from CBDT database will be captured and recorded in the REG1. What we are doing currently, we are entering the same in the REG1. In the part A, we are putting the mobile number and email ID. And what is the main reason for making this change? So that couple of times it has been heard that even the person are not aware that whether he has the GST number or not. Fake invoicing is being generated. To control all those stuff, they are making these changes. So now the OTP would goes to the email ID or mobile number registered with the income tax database. Correct. Now they are so at the end of every slide, you will find the relevant notification or relevant circular, and along with that you will find the para number as well. So I am not putting the notification number. The reason is simple. We have divided that presentation in the topic wise. So first we are talking about the registration. Okay. So now they are also putting one more thing. They are introducing one more thing: risk-based physical verification and whether it is Aadhaar authenticated or not Aadhaar authenticated. In both the cases, it will be biometric based Aadhaar authentication and also the risk based physical verification. This particular pilot would be for Gujarat state first, and after successful launching of the same, after its successful working, it will be launched pan India. So for the time being, Rule 84B has been made applicable only to the state of Gujarat. Now they are saying electricity bill metadata as a data field during the GST registration by a new taxpayer. Similarly, state of Maharashtra agrees to carry out the pilot project, and similarly Madhya Pradesh will volunteer for the validation of the property registration. Now what happened? The property ka registration would also be fetched while registration, while applying for any new registration. Again, this pilot run would be started first by one state, and that it will be launched by pan India. Now the second important point, this is regarding the refund to the unregistered person. My first question to all of you can unregistered person take the refund? क्या अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन रिफंड ले सकता है जीएसटी में? सिंपली पुट इन द चैट yes or no. Simply put in the chat yes or no. The answer is yes. Answer is yes. Unregistered person, if I go to the section 54 subsection 1, the word first term is any person. It means whether I am registered or not, it is immaterial. If the conditions are satisfied, then I would be eligible for take the refund. This circular has been clarified two situations. Please note one thing. Currently, this circular has clarified two situations. But point to be noted, whether this concept is limited to these two situations, answer is no. If I am unregistered person and circumstances so warrant, they have laid down the principle in this circular. If I am satisfying all such conditions, then even though apart from these two categories, the refund would be granted by the field formation GST officer, has to be granted. It means, please note one thing, that circular is talking about construction of the flat and long-term insurance policy. I do agree, but please note one thing, it is not limited only to these two circumstances. Next, what is the situation? The situation is I have purchased the flat or any builder, any building, and or they are talking about long-term insurance policy. Okay. Now, after a certain period of the time, I have cancelled that contract. I have purchased on flat, let's say rupees 50 lakhs, on which I am paying the GST. I am hypothetically rounding it off, let's say 5,000 rupees. Okay. Now this contract is cancelled. I have cancelled the flat. I am a registered person. Then there are two situations. If the time limit to issue the credit note, by whom? By supplier to me, has not been expired. Can anybody tell me what is the time limit to issue the credit note? What is the time limit to issue the credit note? Can anybody tell me what is the time limit to issue the credit note? Can anybody tell me what is the time limit to issue the credit note? I can challenge that majority of the participant will not give the right answer. Majority of the participant will not give the right answer. Majority of the participant will not give the right answer. My question can, by what time I can issue the credit note? By what time I can issue the credit note? अभी तक मुझे still I'm not getting the right answer. Frankly, anytime. Oh my God, Bhavezi, my God, great. Then there is no requirement to. Then there is no requirement to bring this circular. My question is, what is the time limit to issue the credit note? I'm talking about the GST credit note. Do agree? After the end of the financial year till November or annual return, whichever is earlier, that is given in 34.2. But what is the things that is being given? Declare the credit note. My question was, what is the time limit to issue the credit note? See, my dear friend, if I have to report, if I have to declare by November, then maximum it could be of October month return. Assuming I am under monthly return filer. Assuming I am under monthly return filer, what could be the return? Maximum return, it would be October. If I have to declare by 30th November, late to late, I can report in October month return. Am I right? And then what could be the date of the credit note? 31st October would be the last date to issue the credit note. Point to be remember, I am not denying 34.2. Read the language of the 34.2. It says that declare the credit note. By 30th November, if I have to declare something by 30th November, late to late, it can be of October return. And this is my view that last date to issue the credit note, if my question is last date to issue the credit note, it would be October. This is my humble submission. Now what happened?
This meeting is being recorded.
Everything is okay, na, sir? Srinivasan,
Sir,
sir.
can you make me co-host?
Sorry.
Can you make me co-host, please?
Please, sure.
Yeah, I'll take care, sir. You continue.
Fine. So now the next question comes. Okay, we have understood that what is the time limit to issue the credit note. Now they have divided in two parts. The first part, if the contract is cancelled and time limit to issue the credit note is not expired, okay, then the supplier will issue the credit note including GST, and I have purchased the flat, then I would be entitled for full refund. So I got 55,000, no problem. Now they are saying if the time limit to issue the credit note is expired, then what happened? Then the supplier can max to max give the refund of 50,000. There is a loss of 5,000 to me. I have borne that taxes, but I have not received the supply. The government will give the refund of 5,000, subject to the condition which is being prescribed. Now the question is, I am not reading line by line of the presentation. Let me explain the concept so that we all can understand. Now the point is that if we go about the time limit for refund, we all know that 2 years from the relevant date. Agreed? What is the relevant date in this case? Prior to this, we all were thinking that in all other cases where the other than supplier is applying the refund, the date of the receipt of the goods or services, but here in cancellation, we have neither received the goods nor received the services. Then they are making the changes that 2 year would be counted. 2 year would be counted from the date of the cancellation of the contract. So from that date, we can apply the refund within 2 years. Yes, they have made the changes in the form. So correspondingly, the document which need to be affixed, details of invoice, agreement, contract, letter by the supplier for cancellation, all those stuff you have to ensure. One more thing, suppose because of my contract, there is an agreement. Because of this contract, there is an agreement. In the agreement, it is written that if you cancel, then 20% would not be refunded. It means my entitlement is only to the 80%. What was the value? Flat ka value was 50 lakh. It means 20% would not be refunded. Correspondingly, the GST department will give the refund of 80% of the taxes, not 100% of the taxes. If the proportionate amount is being refunded by the supplier, then correspondingly amount would be reduced. Now there is some point, because we are unregistered person, we are talking about the refund for unregistered. So there would be mechanism by which unregistered person can apply for the refund. Second point, that if I am, let's say I have purchased the flat in, let's say, Chennai, then I have to get registered in Chennai. I have purchased 3 flats in 3 states and all the 3 has been cancelled by me. I have to take 3 registration. Being an unregistered person, there would be mechanism to make myself enrollment for that state. See, here we are not applying for registration. Unregistered can apply for the refund, but I have to make myself as an enrolled in the GST portal. If the state are different, I have to make the different enrollment number. that would be equivalent to the 15 digit, which looks like that it is a GST number. And if within the one state, I have the 3 flat, there are 3 different supplier, I have to make 3 refund application. That would be called as a temporary registration in each of the concerned state. No unjust enrichment. What is the concept of unjust enrichment? Whenever we are talking about the refund, then we all knows that incidence of the tax has been borne by me. It has not been passed to the buyer or to any other party. This thing have to be proved. In case of the unregistered person, we all know that unregistered cannot collect the tax from any party. Therefore, there is no requirement of unjust proof or certificate of unjust enrichment. I hope it is clear. Now moving to the next point. Decriminalization of CGST Act. What is the meaning of decriminalization? So if we talk about taxation law, the taxation law is a civil law or criminal law? Can anybody give me the answer? The taxation law is a civil law or criminal law? अगर मैं टैक्सेशन की बात करूं, सिविल लॉ है या क्रिमिनल लॉ है? Whether taxation law is a civil or criminal law, we all know that it is a civil law. But the point is, in the GST there is a provision section 132 which talks about some criminal categories of the offense in which imprisonment would be there. There is one more provision, section 69, which gives the power to the arrest. I'm talking about these two things, section 132 and section 69. Now go to the section 132. First point, clause G, clause J, and clause K. What are these clauses? See, I have not supplied the information which is being asked for. I have prevented the GST officer to discharging the duty, correct? Or destroy the tamper with or destroy the material evidence or document. In these things, these three clauses are there. And what is the penalty component? If it is being more than 1 crore, 1 to 2, there is a 6 month imprisonment, there is 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, something imprisonment was there. Now they are saying these 3 offenses. I'm talking about decriminalization. In this decriminalization, we will talk about 3 things. First, the 3 clauses has been deleted. The 3 clauses has been deleted. Clause G, clause J, and clause K. What is the purpose to delete? Because the offenses are somehow covered by the IPC. These offenses are covered by the IPC. So if that offenses are being carried out by any person, obviously he would be penalized under IPC. So it is a double penalties or double offenses. So they have removed that particular 3 clauses. I have given the respective section of IPC for your ready reference. These 3 clauses which has been omitted because it is an amendment in the section. So it would be routed through Finance Act, we all know. But why this has been omitted? Because it has been covered, by section 186 of IPC, section 204 of IPC, and section 176 of IPC. Moving further, now the threshold limit. If I go to the section 132, then minimum threshold limit is 1 crore, starting from 1 crore. But parallelly, if I go to the section 69, power to arrest, the limit goes to the 2 crore. Now there's a mismatch, correct? So they feel that there is a very less number of the cases between 1 to 2 CR. So now they have proposed that limit of 132 would be, instead of the 1 crore, it would be 2 crore. Except one case. What is that case? In case of the fake invoicing. So I request every participant, Please be there attentive, because at the end I'll discuss before I'll close by 12:15. I'll complete this session including Q&A by 12:15, and 12:15 to 12:30 would be the first round of the quick round of the question answer, by which you all can ensure that whatever I have tried to teach you, whatever I have tried to explain you, is clear to everyone or not. मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है सभी अटेंटिव रहे, ताकि जो लास्ट 15 मिनट का डिस्कशन होगा, क्विक राउंड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन आंसर, that your answer would give the confirmation that how much you have understood the provisions or how much I have tried to explain those stuff. Now the limit has been reduced, fine, and the reduced limit has been increased to 2 crore, except one case, that is fake invoicing, and third case, that compounding offense. Current limit is 50% to 150%. If I'll talk about the section 138 compounding of offense, I have to pay additionally 50% minimum, maximum 150%. They feel that compounding of so much of the fees will make the provision not lucrative. So they have reduced to 25% minimum, maximum would be 100%. Now, section 8 minutes. Sorry. Now there is a small, suppose when we are applying for the refund, then there is a time limit that 60 days. If the refund is not being granted, then they will give the interest. We all know. Now in calculation of the period by which they are getting the delay the refund, if the delay is in submission of the document by the taxpayer, then the period which has been taken, extra period which has been taken by the taxpayer, will be excluded from computing the interest. That is fair enough. 75(2). What is 75(2)? You need to understand in detail. Let me stop sharing the screen and come to the main screen. 75(2) क्या चीज का है? Section 73 we all know, and section 74 we all knows. What is the 73? Can you tell me quickly? 73 क्या चीज का provision है, and what is the section 74 talks about? Quickly tell me. I'm looking to the YouTube participant as well. So 73 talks about non-fraud cases and 74 talk about the fraud cases. Correct. So abhi what happened? Say for example, we all know that time limit to issue the SOCOS notice in 73 is 2 year 9 month. 2 year 9 month. See, section 73. The time limit to issue the SOCOS notice. So time limit to issue the order is 3 years. Correct. And what is the SOCOS notice ka time? Minus 3 months. So what time limit comes to issue the SOCOS notice? 2 years, 9 months. Similarly, section 74 talks about the time limit to issue the order is 5 years and minus 6 months. That is 4 years, 6 months. Now the officer has initiated the process. Give me 1 minute. Now the officer has initiated. Now the officer has initiated the action by deeming the provision of 74. He has issued the notice, let's say, after 4 years under section 74. Whether it is within the time limit, answer is yes, it is within the time limit. and the matter finally directed to the tribunal, court, etc., and the element of the fraud has not been justified, has not been proved. The element, the involvement of the fraud has not been proven. In that case, section 75 talks about that it will be assumed that notice has been issued under section 73, and this has to be completed within 12 months. Proceeding has to be completed within 12 months. Now the doubt is, the notice which has been issued even after the expiry of 73, will that notice be sustained? So they are saying you have to complete within 12 months, perfectly okay. So you have to assume under section 73 it has been issued. The question was arose that whether this notice which has been issued after the expiry of 2 years 9 months, now officer can do the proceeding under 73 even if originally it has not been issued within time. The answer was no. Answer was no. Meaning thereby the notice will be assumed that it has been issued under section 73, and if this notice is being issued after 2 years 9 months, this case would not be sustainable, and that is really welcome confirmation, clarification. We all should be make a note of this. Let's read quickly. 75(2) provide that officer shall determine the tax payable as if the notice was issued in 73. As if the notice was issued under 73. Sorry for disturbance. Now the point is, it will be assumed that notice has been issued in 73, and because an officer will determine the tax payable deeming that notice has been issued in 73. So it has been clarified that if the time limit to issue the notice, which was 2 years 9 months, if it has been issued after the expiry of the 2 years 9 months, that period, that demand will not be sustainable, and officer will lose the power to ascertain the liability. Moving to the next provision, these are the amendment in the rules. These are the list of the amendment in the rules. 12 subsection, rule 12 subrule 3. We all know that in case of the TDS and in case of the TCS category of registration, currently, if any applicant want to cancel, then he does not have the provision that he can apply for cancellation of registration in case of the TDS and in case of TCS. Now they are amending to incorporate that even applicant can apply for cancellation. Claim, reverse, and reclaim. What is the concept? Claim, reverse, and reclaim. Can anybody tell me the provision is applicable at which place in the GST? Can you please tell me the provision is applicable? The provision is applicable in the GST. Can you please tell me where this provision is talks about? 180 days. Absolutely correct. The answer is 180 days. Answer is 180 days. We all know that if the supplier has issued the tax invoice to the recipient will take the ITC. If the recipient not make the payment to the supplier within 180 days, he has to reverse the ITC along with interest. And whenever he make the payment in the future, he can reclaim. That we all know. We all are clear, crystal clear in this concept. Now my point is, Now my point is the new concept of the claim, reverse and reclaim. Prior to this, that was a problem in the Rule 37, which was amended, that word proportionate has been omitted. Word proportionate has been omitted. Now they are saying that was by mistakenly it has been omitted. If supplier received the payment or recipient has given the part payment to the supplier, to that extent, no requirement of reversal. To that extent, no requirement of reversal. But the problem is 1 October 2022. 1 October 2022, when the rule was amended, then the word proportionate has been omitted. So it was appearing in the market that even if the recipient make the payment to the supplier part payment, he has to reverse full ITC because now they are not accepting proportionate. That was not the case. And they are finally again making the amendment and to add the proportionate and from retrospective, that is 1 October 2022. Now the new concept of claim, reverse and reclaim, that I would request everyone to listen attentively. In the GST, we all know that ITC can be taken only when the condition of 16(2) are satisfied. Correct. We can take the input tax credit only when the condition are satisfied. Now the point is whether condition has to be satisfied. Sorry. The condition has to be satisfied. See, point to be noted. This point, please take care. 16(2) talk about earlier 4 conditions, then one more condition was added, then one more condition was added. As of now, the total 6 conditions are there. The point is, do I need to comply with all these 6 conditions at the time of claiming the ITC? Repeat kar raha hu. I'm repeating once again. Today is the month, let's say January, I am filing the return of December. So if I am claiming any ITC, do I need to satisfy all condition of 16(2) at the time of claiming the ITC? The answer would be no. Why no? Suppose I have not received the tax invoice, can we claim the ITC? No, not able to claim. Suppose I have not received the goods, can I claim the ITC? No. Then why I am changing my sentence that all the condition need not to be satisfied at the time of claiming? Because of 16(2)(c). Giving one example, you are supplier, I am customer. Okay. You have issued the tax invoice to me. I have received the tax invoice. I have received the goods or services. Let's say you have not made the tax ka payment. 16(2)(c), clause C talking about supplier has paid the taxes to the government. Let's say you have not made the taxes to the payment to the government. Can I claim? Answer is yes. Please note one thing. I'm repeating once again. I am saying that at the time of claiming the ITC, might be supplier has not paid the taxes, even though I am allowed to take ITC. Now they are saying they are relaxing the taxpayer, given huge time period to us. If the tax has not been paid by the supplier to the government in the same month, in the next month, no. After the end of the financial year till September, after the end of the financial year till September, meaning thereby the supply which you have given to me in the month of December, you can pay the taxes till September. I am not required to reverse ITC. If you not made the payment till September, I have to reverse my ITC by November without interest. I have to reverse my ITC without interest till November. If November is crossed, then there is one open-ended question. That there is one open-ended question. Let me talk about this question. Recipient has taken the ITC and not reversed till 30th November. let's say is reversing in the month of December, 31st December, jo bhi GST, whatever the 3B is filing or DRC 03, he is reversing in December. Question number 1, whether interest need to be paid from the date of claiming the ITC or from 30th November. Repeating my question once again. We do agree if recipient has not reversed by 30th November, he has to reverse along with interest. But the interest ka calculation, interest ka meter would be started from which date? The date of claiming the ITC or date after 30th November. Open-ended question. Second question, which is open-ended. Let's say I'm reversing in December. Do I need to pay the interest always? Suppose I am saying now I'm talking about 50 subsection 3. I'm talking about 50 subsection 3. Let's say I have claimed the ITC but not utilized. I have claimed the ITC but not utilized. Will you say me to pay the interest? Answer is no. Because charging provision of interest is 50 subsection 3. You tell me that if I have only ITC claimed but not utilized, will the interest be attracted? No. Even though rules are saying that you have to pay the interest, but I am not required to pay the interest. Why? Because it is only utilized, it is only availed but not utilized. In this case, the question would remain same. So what is my humble submission? That like rule 37, I'm going back, claim, reverse, reclaim, first concept, 180 days wala. In that concept, 180 days wala, in that concept, we all know that rule 37 is talking about the interest according to section 50. So same provision, same language should be added in the rule 37A as well. It means if I have availed but not utilized, even though recipient is reversing after November, no problem, no interest would be attracted. Second thing, that if he is reversing, then interest ka meter would be started from the date of availing the ITC or 1st December. That things has to be clarified. Now the main problem, how the recipient able to understand that supplier has paid the taxes on my invoice or not. As of now, there is no mechanism. As of now, there is no mechanism. Might be there is one things which is being appearing in my portal. How much the comparison of 1 and 3B. Will that be taken as a base? My view not. That cannot be the base. So this things has to be developed. This things has to be developed, that how the recipient would be able to understand whether taxes has been paid on the respective tax invoice by the supplier, because we all know that GSTR 3B is a consolidated return. It is a summarized return. It is not invoice wise. So as per the current mechanism, it is not possible to comply rule 37A, section 16(2)(c) or section 41. Now there is a one concept is being added in the rule 46F, but that is again creating the problem. What is the problem? First, let me explain you what is the changes. If the invoice value, in case of B2C, if invoice value is up to 50,000, then there is no requirement to put the address of the recipient. Now they are saying in case of the online payment, in case of the online transaction, it is the responsibility of e-commerce operator or OIDAR when they are making the transaction with unregistered party, then recipient ka name, address and pin code has to be disclosed then only it is mandate requirement. Now, what happen in that case? What will happen? See, the GST is a origin based or destination based. We all know GST is a origin based or destination based. GST is a destination based taxation system. Now let's say I'm coming to Delhi, going to Gurgaon, Haryana. Okay. I'm purchasing something, whether it is a goods or services, doesn't matter. And I am taking that goods to the Delhi and consuming in Delhi. What would be the place of the supply? Ideally, it should be Delhi. But the problem is, if the transaction up to 50,000 and I have not requested for invoice, then they will treat that transaction as intra. They will treat that transaction over the counter. They will treat that location of the shop, the counter of that particular supplier would be the place of supply. And as a result, they will charge C pluses. But that is not actual concept. But that is not true concept. GST is a destination based taxation system. In that case, now they are imposing the responsibility on the e-commerce operator. Online transaction, you have to put the recipient ka address, name and pin code. That is the challenge. What is the challenge? Giving you one problematic area. Let's say I am a Paytm. I'm a Paytm or PhonePe country. You have done the recharge using my platforms. And for that, let's say you are charging ₹5. Fine. The time you do the recharge of my mobile number, so the time you recharge on my platform by putting mobile number, X mobile number, then the Paytm in turn will take the state code from the respective telecommunication organization, Bharti Airtel, Jio, kisi se bhi. They will take the state code. Is it an online transaction? Obviously, yes. Now, after this amendment, they have to put state ka naam, state ka code, also pin code, address of that mobile number. Otherwise, they will not comply the rule 46F, the proviso. Parallelly, there is a requirement of TRAI. Telecommunication के ऊपर जो regulatory authority है, they are putting the control that on this Bharti Airtel Jio company that you cannot share the address with anybody. You can only share the state ka code, but cannot share the complete address and pin code. Now you say the GST law is demanding the address with pin code, TRAI is denying to share the address or pin code. There is a mismatch between two regulations. And that's what the problem is. You may find there is some representation in the time to come, or there may be some non-compliance in the time to come, or there may be circular giving the relaxation. It can happen with any transaction online where the regulatory authority does not permit to share the complete address because of the confidentiality, because of the security, because of any reason. And that's why probably I, being a Paytm, might be I have done the recharge for Telangana. But because of this restriction, I'll put my location as a place of supply. And where this revenue goes, suppose I'm registered in Delhi, my revenue goes to Delhi. Ideally, it should goes to Telangana, but now the problem is it will goes to Delhi only because of the TRAI regulation. I hope it is clear. That's the restriction, or that's the problem in this particular amendment. That's invoice cum bill of supply. Simple point. In case of the B2C ka transaction, supplying the taxable as well as exempted item together, then rule 46A talk about that I can issue the invoice cum bill of supply. The problem of that particular provisions, it was starting with the non-obstant clause. It was starting with the non-obstant clause, and this proviso is newly added. Please, for the timing, please believe that this proviso was not there. Now it is saying, notwithstanding anything contained, I will issue the invoice cum bill of supply. They are overriding the rule 46, overriding the rule 49, overriding the rule 54. What is the interpretation of this particular provision? Interpretation is that in case when I'm issuing invoice cum bill of supply, I'm not required to comply any of the content which is mentioned in the 46, 49 or 54. I can simply issue one document putting your name, that's it. Will that be the tax invoice or bill of supply? Answer is yes. Why? In case of the 46A, it is starting with the non-obstant clause. And that is the reason they have added the proviso that it will contain the particular of 46, 49, 54. Because it is giving the wrong impression. So that is the reason they have added the proviso. It's a very simple. ECL, electronic credit ledger, electronic cash ledger. So sometime we all know that if the bank fails to communicate the details of the challan identification number to the GST portal, now they are saying even the GST portal can be updated on the basis of e-scroll of Reserve Bank of India. So if e-scroll would be updated, then would get credited the electronic cash ledger on the basis of e-scroll as well. Again, good move. Again, good move. That in case, see, Rule 108 and Rule 109, in both there was an amendment. What was the amendment? If order has been given online, uploaded on the portal, then there is no requirement to submit the certified copy. Currently, so these provisions are with respect to appeal. So we all know when we are making the appeal, we have to take the stamp authorization, authorized copy, certified copy, and then submit the same within 7 days in every appeal. But we are unable to understand that if the particular things are available online, then why they need again certificate copy? Actually not required. Now they have accepted if it is online available, no requirement of certified copy. If it is not available online, not uploaded because of any reason, then even self-certified copy would be suffice. That amendment was made in Rule 108 and 109. 108 appeal by the aggrieved party, and 109 is talking about appeal by the department. So relevant changes are there. Again, this would be excellent change that if you like to withdraw the appeal, then yes, you can do the withdrawal, but only one time. They have inserted new provision for withdrawal of the appeal only one time. You can re-appeal, but re-appeal ka time limit would be counted from here or from original. They are saying original time limit would be counted. It is not like you will get extra time. No, you will not get extra time. The time limit to re-appeal would be from the starting time limit, from the original order. E-way bill, Rule 138, Sub-Rule 14, which talks about certain relaxation, Rule 138-14, in which there was a jewelry item which is relaxed. Now they are saying jewelry, but other than imitation. If there is a imitation jewelry having the central tariff heading 7117, this would require e-way bill. Other than that particular imitation jewelry, no e-way bill was required. Earlier we were listening that yes, now part A has to be generated, part B not required to update it for every e-way bill. Answer is no. That proposal was some of the state, but finally it has not been accepted by the council, and therefore it is nowhere applicable. It means if I am moving the jewelry from one location to the another, do I need to make e-way bill? Answer is no. If it is imitation jewelry, yes. Other than imitation, no. So they are making certain changes with the cancellation of order, that is leaving as it is. Similarly, DRC 03A, changes in the DRC 03, only DRC 03, correct? Manner of recrediting amount of erroneous refund deposited by the taxpayer in terms of the Rule 86, Sub-Rule 4B. in the electronic credit ledger using PMT 03A. In this regard, GSTN has requested to make certain amendment to include the following drop down. What are the drop downs? Deposit of erroneous refund of unutilized ITC. Correct. Sometimes we know that unutilized ITC is taken refunded, that have to pay back. So for that, now they have created the separate drop down in the DRC 03. Second, deposit of erroneous refund obtained in contravention of Rule 9610. I request everyone to the participant, can anybody tell me what is the Rule 96 sub Rule 10? ये Rule 9610 क्या चीज है? What is the Rule 9610? What is the contravention of Rule 9610? Can you tell me what is the contravention of Rule 9610? Requesting every participant to give me some answer. What is the contravention of Rule 9610? No problem. So Rule 9610 talks about that if the Rule 96 क्या है? Rule 96 is if I am making the export or SEZ on payment of IGST, then I would be entitled to take the refund of IGST. Rule 9610 is talking about 4 situations in which one taxpayer cannot export on IGST when if he has purchased the goods at a subsidized rate, like the concept of deemed export, merchant export. So like rightly said by the Bhaveji, that EOU, deemed export, EOU is one of the transaction, merchant export 0.1% wala, or there are 2 custom notification by which having the advance authorization by which there is lesser amount of the tax or there is no tax. So if let's say I'm a Mr. A, I have purchased by using any of the notification, then I cannot export on IGST. I have to export on LUT. But if you know, if you recall the initial period, the people were not aware too much about this condition. They are exporting on IGST. They are exporting on IGST. Now the demand is being raised. Please pay back this refund along with interest. Now, when I'm paying this demand, through DRC 03, now they have added the one new drop down. Supply through e-commerce operator. Unregistered person and composition dealer. I'm talking about 2 things. Here also I will talk about 2 things, goods and services. Here also I will talk about the 2 things, goods and services. What is the current provision and what is the amendment? Both we are going to discuss. Unregistered person cannot make the supply of the goods through e-commerce operator. It is coming under compulsory registration. 24(9), section 24, clause 9. Second, unregistered person supplying the service through e-commerce operator, not mandatory registration. There is a notification, couple of notification, 10 by 2017, then 65 by 2017. So combining all. So last notification was 65 by 2017, CT rate, central tax. By this, they are saying if any person is making the supply of the service through e-commerce operator, it is not mandatory till 20 lakh, whatever the threshold limit. Fine. Composition dealer cannot make the supply of the goods or services through e-commerce operator. It is bar under section 10 subsection 2 or 10 subsection 2A. Now, what is the proposal? They are saying it is currently allowed, so no problem. This is currently allowed, no problem. Now they are allowing this part and this part, meaning thereby this particular transaction of service would continue to be restricted category even after the amendment. Even after the amendment. What is the meaning of amendment? The proposal is that you are not registered, then e-commerce operator has to develop the functionality, and GST portal will develop the functionality. At two places the changes would be: GST portal would allow to the unregistered person to take the enrollment number, point number 1, for making the supply of goods through ECO, and ECO will have to develop the portal so that the unregistered person ka transaction should be captured, and the day when he crossed the threshold limit of 40 lakhs, it will be intimated. Till 40 lakhs, there is no requirement of registration, but that is only to the intrastate. That is only to the one state. That is one registration or one enrollment number against one PAN. It means it is not the case that I can register in the multiple state and can make the supply through ECO within that state. No, you are allowed to do the supply without registration only in one state. Okay. And what about the composition dealer? We all know that composite can make the supply through, cannot make the supply through ECO. Now they will make the supply and they will only intrastate. Obviously, they are registered. And similarly, section 52, which talks about the TCS, you will see the amendment in section 52. Why there is a requirement of amendment in section 52? Why there is a requirement to make the amendment in section 52? Because if the parties are unregistered, then there should be no tax collected. So section 52 will probably amend it so that these transactions should not be come under the purview of TCS at the rate of 1%. So corresponding changes would be made in the GSTR 8 or something like that, correct? So this is section 10 subsection 2. You will find the amendment. Now, amendment in the second proviso to 16. So we have discussed. Now they will allow, yes, one more restriction, that currently we all know that we can file the return without any restrictions. Suppose today I am filing the GST return of 17-18. Can I? Answer is yes, you can. Now they will put restriction that you cannot file the return beyond 3 years from the due date of filing. So now that would be restriction because of the used data and unnecessary, I can say, the storage required at the government portal or GST. So to control that, this particular restriction would be there. Similarly, in the section 54, the word provisionally would be omitted. Now let me discuss about the changes in the GSTR1. Amendment in the GSTR1. What is the amendment in the GSTR1? See, we all know. Please again explain the rule 9610. I'll explain. Let me complete the session of the law related part. We'll take up the question and then we'll move to the rate related changes. We'll do the law related in a couple of minutes, complete, and then we'll discuss your question, ask my Q&A. If e-commerce operator, that can be two category, one 95 category, one section 52 category. I am making the supply through Amazon. You tell me whether TCS would be applicable or not. I am making the supply through Amazon. You tell me whether TCS would be applicable or not. whether Amazon would collect the TCS or not. Whether Amazon will collect the TCS or not. I'm repeating once again that I am making the supply of the goods through Amazon, whether TCS would be applicable or not. Applicable. My second question, if I am restaurant making the supply through Zomato, whether TCS would be applicable or not. I am restaurant making the supply through Amazon, whether Amazon will collect TCS on this transaction or not. Whether Amazon will, Zomato will, Swiggy, Zomato, whatever, I am restaurant making the supply through Zomato, Swiggy, whether Swiggy, Zomato will collect the TCS or not. Answer is no. Answer is no. Now, what is the difference in two transactions? In the one, we are talking about other than 9.5. In the second, we are talking about the 9.5 transactions. Requesting every participant to give me one more example for 9 subsection 5 ka transaction. Requesting every participant to give one more example of 9 subsection 5 transaction. One more example of 9.5. मुझे एक एग्जांपल और दीजिए 9.5 का. Answer is Ola, Uber, transportation of passenger, urban company, small carpenting, plumbing services, hotel accommodation, etc. like Make My Trip, Go IBBO, etc. In all such cases, will the TCS be applicable? Answer is no. See, it means if I am making the supply through e-commerce operator who is covered in the 9.5, then TCS would not be applicable. And if I'm making the supply to other than 9.5, TCS would be applicable, like Amazon. In this case, the amendment was already carried out, already made in the GSTR 3B. The GSTR 3B was already amended. Now we are talking about the GSTR 1. What is the amendment in the GSTR 1? They have inserted two tables, table 14 and table 15. Correspondingly, amendment table was also introduced. I am talking about table 14 and table 15. Details of the supplies made through e-commerce operator on which e-commerce operator collect the TCS. Then supplier has to report. See, serial number A, supplies on which e-commerce operator is liable to collect the TCS. Like I'm supplying to Amazon and Amazon will collect TCS. I being a supplier has to report here. Now the supplies on which e-commerce operator is liable to pay tax under 9.5. The supplies on which 9.5 transaction has to be reported by the supplier. Next. Serial number 15, table 15. Details of the supplies made through e-commerce operator on which ECO is liable to pay the tax under 9.5. E-commerce operator should report the transaction. So now let's say it is a Zomato. It is purchasing from maybe registered party or maybe unregistered party. But when they make the supply to customer, they will charge GST all which. Correct? So they are saying if it is a type of the supplier and type of recipient, type of the supplier can be registered or can be unregistered. Type of the recipient can be registered or can be unregistered. Similarly, they are putting the GST number, all other details. Now, what is the benefit of these new table? Now it will be cross match. Matching concept. What is the matching concept? See, supplies made by me through ECO on which 9.5 is applicable. Will I pay the tax? Please confirm. I am making the supply to Zomato. Will I pay the tax to the government? Will I pay the tax to the government? Answer is no. I will not pay the tax because these 9.5 who is a deemed supplier will pay the tax. Correct. And now the e-commerce operator will put my GST number when they will file the GSTR 1 and 3B. Amount which I have reported in my one, amount which is reported by e-commerce operator would be matched, and if there is a mismatch, notice would be issued. And from these, the table 3.1.1 of GSTR 3B would be auto-populated. What is the 3.1.1? These two tables, supplies on which 9.5 is applicable or supplier on which 9.5 is not applicable. So the e-commerce transaction is being captured separately in 3.1.1. So that will take care. Table 7, table 8, and table 9. Table 7, table 8, and table 8.1 and 8.2 of GSTR table 7 या para 7, para 8.1 and para 8.2 schedule 3 transaction. In this transaction there is no GST applicable. Para 7, para 8A and 8B. If I am purchasing from non-taxable territory, making the supply to the non-taxable territory, or if I am making prior to reaching the goods to the custom on high seas basis, or if the goods is reached to the custom, I have not filed the bill of entry for home consumption, and prior to that I have supplied. In that case, because these transactions are covered in the schedule 3 out of GST. But the problem is that have been inserted on 1 Feb 2019 with prospective. The field formation are raising the demand that prior to 1st Feb, because it is not covered in schedule 3, you need to pay the GST. Now they have clarified it will be retrospectively applicability. So you will find that amendment that will be the next finance budget. You will find that para 7, para 8, A and B will have the retrospective effect. One bigger problem, DRC 01B and Rule 88C. What is that? If there is a difference in GSTR 1 and 3B, then with some specified amount and or percentage, this is important. And or. So might be, let's say the amount is difference is more than 10 lakh ka tax or more than 10% or both. I'm just giving one hypothetical example. So if the difference is such, it means the taxes paid to the government is lesser, then it will be intimated to the taxpayer about the difference. Then taxpayer has to pay full or part or explain the reason. If he has agreed that yes, I have to pay, then he will pay, or else he will explain with the reason. Anything, either amount or reason, that has to be submitted. If no action taken by the taxpayer, then next GSTR 1 would be blocked. I cannot furnish the next GSTR 1. Circular 186, again it is a clarification, no claim bonus. What is the no claim bonus? I'm insurance company. Mr. A is an insured person. He has not taken any claim in the last 3 years, suppose. Then in this year, he has to pay, let's say 15,000, but I will give some sort of reduction because of no claim bonus. 15,000 less, let's say 2,000. He has to pay 13,000. The field formation, see, field formation are raising the demand on insured person that you have received the bonus of rupees 2,000, you have to pay the GST. But the circular is clarified. It is not the supply by the insured to the insurance company. It is not the supply by the insured to the insurance company, and therefore it is not liable to GST in the hand of insured. Rather, it is a supply by the insurance, and out of which they have given the deduction on the face of the invoice. On the net amount, the GST would be charged. They have given the reference of section 15, subsection 3, clause A. Similarly, they have clarified that e-invoice would be applicable to the entire e-invoice ka relaxation would be applicable to the entire entity. They have given the example. We all know banking company, financial institution, transporter, SEZ unit, all are being relaxed. But suppose banking company is supplying the goods, bullion, etc. Do they need to pay? Do they need to raise the e-invoice? Assuming obviously aggregate turnover would exceed the prescribed limit of 10 crore. Now, whether they have to make e-invoicing. So the doubt was whether this relaxation is applicable to the entire entity or only applicable to the banking transaction. Suppose I'm a bank, I'm providing the banking service to you. Only on this transaction, no e-invoice. Yeah, entire entity is exempted. They have clarified that entire entity is exempted, whether they do the banking transaction or they do the supply of the goods. In both the cases, no e-invoicing. Yes, that is the, we all know one circular for mismatch between 3B, 2A. What was the lacuna of the circular? First, that it should be extended to the 8th of October 2019. This circular should be extended to 8th of October 2019. Point number 1. What is the circular? If there is a difference between 2A versus 3B, ITC claimed by me and ITC auto-populated in 2A. There is a difference. Then, if the difference is up to 5 lakh, then supplier certificate. If it is more than 5 lakh, supplier CA certificate. But this particular part is out of this circular. See, we all know that on 9th of October 2019, there is a requirement of Rule 36(4). Correct? And before that, there was no requirement of the law to match with 2A. So they are giving the relaxation. But why I am saying this period is being out of this circular? Why? Remember that ITC to be taken for 17-18 has been extended to March 19. Why did this order number? But this order has added the one proviso in 16.4. They have added the one proviso in the 16.4 that you are taking the ITC in the extended time period between October to March 19. You can take only when the transaction would appear in 2A. Then in that case, if someone is taking the ITC in the 2A, if someone is taking the ITC in the extended time period, he can only take when the transaction is appearing in 2A. I am talking about 17-18. So for that particular ITC, the supplier certificate or CA certificate would not work. And one more point, there is a judgment also. I think Wipro Limited ke case mein already High Court has held that this circular would even applicable for 1920 if circumstances so warrant. Next point, my observation on the mismatch of this input tax credit would be extended based on the supplier or CA certificate till 31st December 2021. My dear friend, prior to 1122, what is the date? The day when the 16(2)AA, was inserted and made effective in the section 16 in the act. Prior to that, there is no requirement to match, even though there is a circular 36(4). We all can challenge the circular prior to 1st January 2022. And my dear friend, please do not accept any such liability. Please do not accept any such liability. But what happened in future? Like say after 5 years, they have given the relaxation. Will they allow me the refund of the taxes which I have paid? No. whenever the relaxation is being extended, the relaxation is always being extended with the condition that it will be prospective, not for the retrospective cases, not for the past cases which has been settled. What to do? Nothing can be done. So my point, my submission, based on this circular, it is clear appearance that this ITC 36.4 is definitely going to be challenged in the time to come. And prior to 1122, if you have the demand, litigate. If you have the demand, litigate. Definitely down the line after 3 year, 5 year, 10 year might be. We don't know, but there would be definitely relaxation or favorable judgment on this mismatch concept. Simply reason, sir, that whether law 36.4, but read the provision, rule 59, rule 60, rule 60, 71, 70, all these rule which has the concept of GSTR2, GSTR3, MIS1, MIS2, whether all these things were made available to all of us. No, then prior to that, if the things is not made available to all of us, how GST can expect the taxpayer to comply the same? No. Therefore, I would humbly submit that prior to 1122 has to not to be accepted, to be challenged. This is my submission. Going forward, IBC, if the corresponding liability under IBC is reduced, statutory due under GST would also be reduced. They have made amendment. OIDR, they will make the changes in the OIDAR respective places, because what is this? Read this chart. If the OIDAR is located out of India, if the recipient is registered, RCM would be applicable. If the recipient is unregistered, then OIDR will pay the tax under forward charge. But what is the word currently they are using? Minimal human intervention. What the word they are using? Minimum human intervention. So as a reason, but minimum human intervention, it is a very wider term. It is a very wider term. Second, non-taxable online recipient. Refer the definition. NTOR and minimum human intervention. These are the two things which create the interpretation problem in this OIDAR concept. That thing going to be changed. The last thing, let me read. This is important provisions. It is prior to 1/5/2019. It is post 1/2/2019, and it will go back to older one after the Finance Act 2023. Repeating once again, this was the situation prior to 1/2/2019. This is the current situation, and it will back to the original one after Finance Act 23. What is this concept? There is a change in the place of the supply. Section 12, subsection 8 of IGST. You and me both are located in Maharashtra. You are giving me some goods which I need to deliver out of India. The place of the supply prior to this date would be Maharashtra. I will charge CGST and SGST. What has happened after that 1/5/2019? One proviso was inserted, and that says that if the goods are to be delivered out of India, place of the supply would be out of India. Even though you and me both are in same state, even though you and me both are in Maharashtra, but because you have given the packet to me which need to be delivered at London, then I will charge IGST. And they are saying this proviso would be omitted. And once it is omitted, then this situation would go back to the original. It means I will charge C+S only. For the current situation, they have clarified two things, that I being a supplier will report under +96 foreign territory. I will report the place of the supply as foreign territory. Listen carefully. As of now, the person, like I'm a DTDC Blue Dart, for reporting by putting the place of the supply 97. It means other territory. I was putting, and once I will put other territory, it will not appear in your 2A 2B. ITC, not sure whether to be taken or not taken. They are clarifying that yes, ITC would be available. So these two things are there. So my side, law related changes is completed. Allow me only 10 minutes. Srinivasan sir, I will complete by 10 minutes rate related changes, and then we'll come to the question answer.
Please continue.
So rate related changes, let me move to the like ethical alcohol supply to the refineries for blending the with motor spirit petrol. So earlier there was a relaxation to the limited, not to all. So they are saying yes, it will be extended to the other refineries also. Currently, it is only to the petrochemical organization in the line with the national policies blended with petrol. They are saying 5% would be extended to all. Second is khanda, churi, chilka. So that is creating the doubt because of the 47th GST Council meeting. Now they are saying ITC, the rate would be exempted. There is no question of tax at all. Corresponding changes was made in the relevant notification. So they are saying husk of the pulses, including chilka, new line item is being inserted and it is exempted in the GST. Similarly, 103A, they are putting the husk of pulses, including chilka, they have excluded, clearly excluded, other than these items that would be attract the tax rate of 5%. Rub classifiable under 1702 and it will be taxable at 18%. It is really a big concern that which item which is being used by the lower income category people. Rab salawat, see, good is hard form, solid form, that is exempted, but Rab salawat is some liquid form. So, but again, it will be used by the lower category of the income earner people. In that case, the things which is in the hard exempted, the things which is in liquid form, it is become taxable. And taxable ka rate is 18%. It's double, it's very huge problem. Next is fruit pulp or fruit juice based with carbon dioxide added as a preservative or additive. Now, when the carbon dioxide is being added to the fruit pulp or fruit juices, it will attract higher tax rate with 12% of compensation cess. So 28% would be the tax ka rate and 12% would be the compensation cess. So again, you can see that in the 12%, they have excluded other than this carbonate beverages, and it will attract higher rate. Next is salted product like fryam, whether fryam would be treated as papad or it would be separate. Like entry number 46 of the schedule 2 covering goods, namkeen, bhujia, will it be taxable at which rate? 12%, or it will be treated as papad, exempted, or it will be another rate. They are saying that this will be classifiable under 1905, 9030, and which attract tax rate ka 18%. SUV car, they are saying that if 4 conditions are satisfied, SUV hona chahiye, engine capacity exceeding 1500 cc, length 4000 meter, and ground clearance of 170 mm. So what happened? Some motor vehicle which are having all these 3 conditions fulfilled, which are fulfilling these 3 conditions, will the higher rate of the compensation cess would be applicable? This things has been clarified that if it is not SUV, like MUV, multi-purpose utility vehicle, will have all these features inbuilt, but MUV will attract 15 or 22. They are saying if it is SUV, then only higher rate of the compensation cess would be there. If it is not SUV, even though all the features are available in that motor vehicle, the compensation cess would not attract of higher rate. Import of petroleum operation, there was a doubt in the notification 3/2017. So earlier it was reduced tax rate 5%. Now the rate is being increased to 12%. But the doubt has been arose that if some component, some product I'm purchasing from out of India, importing, but that is dual use. Dual use means I'm using for petroleum product also, petroleum operation also, but it has also some other use. In that case, will that attract 12%? Because schedule 1, 5% rate having that item also. It means, let's say I have purchased product A, which is used for petroleum operation and for other also. And this product A is being classifiable in the schedule 1, 5%. The things has been clarified. If it is the case, then you will have the tax rate of 5%, not higher rate. Mentha arvanis, it will be included in the RCM category. We all know that after 45th GST Council meeting, mentha oil was brought into the RCM mechanism. So now they have amended the RCM note. They have inserted this mentha arvanis under RCM only. Renting of residential dwelling after Delhi High Court judgment. If the property, I have taken the property for my personal use. I am proprietor registered, or I am a partner and my firm is registered in the GST. But for my personal use, I have taken the property on rent for my family in which I am staying. Will that attract RCM? That excluded, that no RCM in such case. Similarly, they have removed the one NVT concept after Kerala High Court judgment, Karnataka High Court judgment, that they have extended this relaxation to the construction of road also. So finally, they have omitted this NVT concept is applicable not for the access to the toll or bridge. So they have removed this concept. They are saying because it is already exempted, so that is there is no requirement of 23A. Yes, they have clarified for accommodation service given by the Air Force mess, they will be treated that it is a government service and exempted by serial number 6 of exemption notification. So accommodation service given by the Air Force mess to the personnel. Next is incentive paid by the MIT to the acquiring bank. So they are bringing the concept that up to rupees 2000 transaction, in case the RuPay debit card or Bhim UPI transaction is being there, then they will give some incentive. In that case, the bank, whatever the incentive they are giving to the consumer, customer, the corresponding amount will be paid back by the MIT. Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, something that is full form of MEITY. So now that incentive which is being received by the bank, will it be taxable or not? They are saying it is a subsidy, it is a form of the subsidy given by the government, would be excluded in the value. So by this, I have completed small rate related changes. Now every participant, over to you for asking any question, and then last, as we discussed, 10-minute fire round of the question answer by which the entire 2-day class would be revised.
Sir, could you repeat rule 96?
Rule 96 sub rule 10. See, rule 96, there are 3 parties. Let's say Srinivasan sir and Arun, and let's say Sunilji. Sunilji is located in London. I am in India. Srinivasan sir in India. I am exporting the goods to Sunilji. So I am actual exporter. Okay. We all know that exporter has 2 ways to do the supply. Either on IGST and take the refund of IGST paid under rule 96, and second under LUT and take the refund of accumulated ITC. As of now, there is no bar. 9610 is creating the restriction on Arun, that Arun cannot do the export on IGST. What is that? If like Srinivasan sir is making the supplies to me at 0.1% merchant export, or Srinivasan sir is making the supply to me and I am having the advance authorization, then he has the option to take the refund from the government if it is a deemed export. Third, there is a 2 custom notification 78 and 79. Then they can make the supply without duty, without taxes. So again, go to me that my inward transaction, either it is no tax or some small component of tax. Then they are saying under 9610, in these 4 circumstances, if I have my inward supply out of these transactions, I cannot supply to the Sunilji on IGST. I have to compulsory do on LUT. Suppose I have did that sale under export on payment of IGST and taken the refund of IGST, I have to pay back the IGST, whatever I have taken, and accumulated ITC का refund मुझे लेना पड़ेगा. Is it clear?
Thank you, sir.
MVL, I think, sir, आपने question पूछा था. You have asked one question, MVL, regarding 96 table.
Members, you can ask the questions and you can raise their hands and ask the questions.
There is a one question in YouTube. How can CA certificate tax paid by the supplier where no facility is in? So, Balamurgan ji, the point is correct. That particular chartered accountant or cost accountant has to verify the supplier's books. So that is the reason, if you refer the circular 183, they are saying supplier CA. So that CA who has access to the supplier books, he will check and then he will issue the certificate. Definitely, this video would be available on YouTube also. You can watch the video at a later stage.
Sir, final discussion, sir.
Sorry.
The matching concept itself is not there. And when we are talking about 1718 or 1819, the supplier might have been closed his premises or he might have been moved away. In that circumstances, we will not be able to go to that person also.
Yes, that is
the fate of the recipient.
Correct. So that is the correct problem. In that case, might be 5 years back that was supplier is no more. Actually, no more. Or he's not reachable, he is shut down, because we all know that natural calamities of COVID created the problem a lot. So might be I'm not unable to connect, or he's not more, or he's not able to reach out. How to do? No solution has been given in the circular. Probably I feel, considering these, if I have the proper tax invoice, even though the transaction is not there in 2A, and also I'm not able to get certificate either from supplier or CA, the court will definitely accept my transaction and ITC would not be denied. This is my view. Any other question? Kindly let me know. In case of there is a
Mr. Sunil Kota want to ask a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Randy. How are you?
Please ask, sir. Please ask.
Good morning, Harunji. How are you?
Very fine, sir. Very fine.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
Regarding this Rule 88B recently introduced, you may aware about the notification issued by the authority on October 2019. It clearly indicate, like, other than section 73 and 74, if any interest is applicable, has to be paid on net tax liability as per that notification given on October 2019. Whereas the recent 88B, which it is being introduced, it is clearly indicating like the net tax liability arises only on filing the monthly returns under section 39, and other than 39, in all other cases, interest is applicable on gross liability, whether it is challengeable or not. Because based on the government notification only, we followed to make the payment.
Give the example where the interest is payable, but the taxpayer not required to file 39.
Yeah, like now I have reversed the input tax credit by adjusting my credit ledger. As per the October 2019 notification, it seems like interest is not applicable because the amount is adjusted from my credit ledger. Because section 50 subsection 1 under this October 19 notification, it is clearly indicating that if any amount is adjusted from cash ledger only, interest is applicable on net tax liability.
So first point, that 50 subsection 1 ka proviso talks about tax liability.
But whereas the recent changes in July 2022, 88B, it clearly indicating in all other cases, other than the return filing by the dealer. Let assume that January 2022 return today I am filing. January 2022 return today I am filing. Even today, today even if I am filing, if my input tax credit available in credit ledger, and if I am adjusting the same in my monthly return, interest is not applicable.
Not applicable.
Whereas if I have input tax credit in my credit ledger and I am reversing the input tax credit, reversing the input tax credit to the authority other than the return filing by me. If I am filing through DRC 03 or any cases, it clearly indicating like the 88B, it is clearly indicating like
Correct.
interest is
That
applicable on gross
easily
liability.
Easily challengeable, because
Correct.
suppose I'm reversing my ITC, it will fall under 50 subsection 3. 50 subsection 3 has been retrospectively amended, availed and utilized. If I have taken the ITC which is lying in my credit ledger and I'm reversing, reversal can be through 3B or can be through DRC 03.
Exactly correct.
If I'm reversing through DRC 03, the ITC which is lying in my ledger only, will interest would be applicable? 100% no, easily challengeable.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has given from retrospective effect. That is unfortunate issue.
No problem, sir. Even though we know that rule cannot override the section.
Correct. Correct.
And it is clear-cut indication that you cannot demand the interest if there is a provision in the act does not asking me to.
So nothing but it is the food is providing to the advocates by issuing the notices. It is really appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
So, any other question? Or let me take one or two question of YouTube also. Reversal of ITC more than 180 days with interest. Yes, sir. If I am reversing my ITC because I have not made the supply to 180 days, then I have to reverse with interest. But again, the concept of 50 subsection 3, whether would be looked into or not, my view 100% to be looked into. Right now, like Sunilji has asked the question in the same manner, if ITC is lying in my credit ledger, I have not utilized, in my view, there is no interest applicable. Second question, in case of the RCM, matching is compulsory? No requirement, because if you read 16 subsection 2 ka second proviso, read with rule 37, it is not applicable in case of RCM transaction. Last question, when there is a dispute between supplier and the recipient, how to do get? So that is the problem. Obviously, you will not able to get. You need to take the help of the court only to intervene the matter, as the question is being asked by Srinivasan sir. So from my side, this webinar is completed. Now, shall I start quick round of the question? Allow me 10 minutes to ask the quick round of the question.
Please,
so, entire chapter. I humbly request to every participant of YouTube and of this seminar in June, I request everyone, please give the answer so that you all will have the more strengthened or comparatively all the provision in your mind. Let me ask certain question. First question. Now can I enter the email ID and mobile number after the facility is being developed, functionality is being developed by the GST? Can I enter the email ID and mobile number while applying the GST registration? The right answer is no. Can you tell me the name of the state in which risk-based verification would be started? Pilot run would be started. Pilot run would be started. Excellent. The state is Gujarat. State is Gujarat. There are two examples which has been covered. I am talking about the refund of unregistered person. There are two examples, two cases has been taken care in the circular. Can you please tell me which two example has been taken care in the circular? क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हैं? Can you please tell me which two transaction has been taken care, has been considered in case of the refund to unregistered parties? Absolutely correct. Long-term lease contract, construction of the flat, or and then second is long-term insurance policy. Can you please tell me? Fine. Can you please tell me whether in case of unregistered person, unjust enrichment is applicable if amount is more than 2 lakh? Whether that person has to give the certificate or not? Unjust enrichment concept, will it be applicable to unregistered person? Will it be applicable to unregistered person? Answer is no. Can you please tell me that what would be the relevant date from that 2 year would be counted for taking the refund? What is the time limit of refund of 2 year? From which date it will be counted? From which date it will be counted? Right answer is from the cancellation of the contract. Absolutely correct. From the cancellation of contract. in the decriminalization of GST, at three places they have made the amendment. Can you please highlight any one amendment? For the decriminalization of the CGST Act, they have made broadly three changes. Can you please tell me any one changes? Broadly, they have made three changes. Can you please tell me any one changes? No problem. No problem. So the three clauses has been removed. Can you please tell me what is the main reason the three clause has been removed? What is the main reason the removal of the three clauses from the section 132? Can you please tell me what are the main reason to remove these three clauses from the? Yes, because it is already covered in the IPC. And limit of 2, they have enhanced the limit to 2 crore except in one case, in which case the limit of 1 crore would continue. Limit of 1 crore would be continue, in which case the limit of 1 crore would be continue. The right answer is fake invoicing. Can you please tell me what was the existing compounding fees, minimum and maximum? Can you please tell me what is the currently compounding fees which need to be paid for compounding of offense, minimum to maximum? Currently the right answer is 50% to 150%. And what is the proposed amendment? What is the proposed amendment? 25 to 100%. Please tell me, I being a GST officer has issued notice to you under section 74 after the expiry of the time limit of 73. And subsequently, court is saying that it is not sustainable in 74. Would I be able to proceed the same under 73? The answer is no. Answer is no. Can you please tell me that two category of the registration in which cancellation option is not available with the taxpayer? Two category of the registration in which they cannot apply for cancellation of registration. The answer is section 51 TDS and 52 e-commerce operator. So there is a concept of claim, reverse and reclaim, 180 days concept. They are making certain changes in that. Can you please tell me what was the problem which has been resolved by this amendment? In 180 days concept, what was the problem which has been resolved? What was the problem in 180 days which has been resolved? The answer is the word proportionate was not there in the amendment, and therefore they have made the changes. Whether this amendment will be retrospective or prospectively, whether this amendment insertion of the word proportionate, will it be retrospective or prospective? Answer is retrospective. Absolutely correct. Please tell me the new more concept, slightly one or two word, the new concept of claim, reverse and reclaim. Apart from 180 days, there is one more concept of claim, reverse and reclaim where it is available. What is that concept? What is that concept? So claim, reverse and reclaim. What is that concept? In one or two words, you can explain me. Yes, non-payment of the supplier to the government. Non-payment of the supplier to the government, in which I have two questions. By which date, if the supplier pay, then no requirement of reversal. By which date, if the supplier pays to the government, then there is no requirement of reversal of ITC by the recipient. कब तक supplier अगर government को pay कर देगा, then recipient not required to reverse the ITC. By which date, if the supplier pays the same to the government, then recipient is not required to reverse the ITC. The date is 30th September. Remember, September. And if he is not making the payment, then recipient has to reverse by 30th November. Will it be with interest or without interest? By 30th November, will it be with interest or without interest? By 30th November, it will be without interest, whether I have utilized or not utilized. But after November, with interest, yes, depending upon the 50 subsection 3. Next question, there's an amendment in invoicing that in such transaction, there is some requirement additional. If online transaction is there, then what is the amendment? What is the new condition? What is the new compulsion on the invoice? If I'm an e-commerce operator or OIDAR, issuing the tax invoice to you. Now they are saying something additionally. What is that? They are saying something additionally. What is that? They are saying additionally, what is that? Absolutely correct. That you have to put the, in case of even unregistered person, name, address, and the PIN code is mandatory. Name, address, and PIN code is mandatory. If the order is available online, do I need to provide self-certificate copy for making the appeal? If the portal, if the order is available on online on the common portal, do I need to provide the self-certificate copy? The answer is no. In case of withdrawal of appeal, the option is available one time or two time. The withdrawal option is available one time or two time. Answer is one time. Can you please tell me whether e-way bill is applicable on jewelry? Whether e-way bill is applicable on jewelry? Can you please tell me whether e-way bill is applicable on jewelry? Absolutely correct. Other than imitation jewelry, not applicable, but if it is imitation jewelry, yes, applicable. Now, please tell me, I'm asking whether you have to tell me currently what is the provision and prospectively or proposed what is the provision. Can unregistered make the supply of the goods through e-commerce operator as of now? Currently, can e-commerce operator make the supply of the goods through e-commerce operator as of now? No. As of now, no. In future, can he? In future, can he? After amendment, can he make the supply of the goods? Answer is yes. What is the threshold limit for supply of the goods? What is the threshold limit for supply of the goods? Taking the registration. For taking registration, it is 20 lakhs. 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 10 lakhs, depending upon the state. But more or less, I can say 40. More or less, I can say. So, within 40, I'm asking after the amendment, if I am making the supply through e-commerce operator of goods from one state to another, will I be allowed or not without registration till 40 after the amendment? Thank you. Answer is no. It will only intra-state. It is only intra, not inter. Can I make the supply the service interstate without registration? Can I make the supply the service interstate without registration? Fine. Now, next question. After this proposed changes in the GST with respect to composition, can he make the supply of the goods or service through ECO? Whether he make the supply of the goods or service through ECO, both, any, only goods, only service, or both? Repeating the question, after the amendment, can he make the supply of the goods or services through ECO? Only goods, only service, or both? Composition dealer within state through ECO, only goods, only services, or both? Right answer is only service or goods. Right answer is goods. It means even after the amendment, e-commerce operator ke through composition dealer cannot make the supply of service. What is the time limit after which I cannot file the return? So they are going to put some restriction that after this period you cannot file the return. Right answer is 3 years. The right answer is 3 years. There is some amendment in Schedule 3 with respect to Para 7 and Para 8. With respect to Para 7, Para 8, high seas sale. Can you please tell me what is the amendment? There is some amendment in this particular Schedule 3 para 7, para 8. What is that amendment? Amendment क्या है? Schedule 3. What is the amendment in the Schedule 3? No? No problem. Retrospective. Currently 1 to 2000, it is applicable from 1 to 2019, but they are proposing from retrospectively. So the GST liability would not be there on high seas sale or from one taxable to the non-taxable territory. Correct? Please tell me new situation in which 1 and 3B, there is a difference of any specified amount, the notification would be issued. Then what are the two course of action available to the taxpayer? So there are two course of action available to the taxpayer. What is that? If I am GST R1 and 3B, there is a difference. I have received the intimation or notice. Then what are the two course of action to be made? Either reply reason, or I have to pay the taxes. If none of the action to be taken by me, then what happen? If none of the action taken by me, then what will happen? कोई भी एक्शन मैंने नहीं लिया तो क्या होगा? If I have not taken any action, then what will happen? What will happen? Absolutely correct. The next GSTR1 would be blocked. Next GSTR1 would be blocked. Very nice. No claim bonus. They are not saying it is not taxable. What was the base by saying that it is not taxable? No claim bonus by insurance company, it is not taxable. What was the base to say it is not taxable? Base kya tha? What was the base to say that it is not taxable? What was the base to say that it is not taxable? Yes, absolutely correct. They are saying it is a discount. It is a discount, and which is given at the time of supply, reported in the tax invoice, net amount GST need to be paid. Relevant provision 15 subsection 3 clause A. E-invoicing is applicable to the transaction wise or entity wise? E-invoicing provision is applicable to the transaction or entity. Please tell me, important question. Please tell, the answer is entity. Please tell me that in the 17, 18 and 18, 19, they are saying one circular that if the ITC is not appearing in 2A, you have to take certificate. What was the amount? That supplier certificate or CS certificate, what was the amount? Yes, 5 lakh. Now my question is, this circular is for 17, 18 and 18, 19, but they are not applicable. They are not applicable on one time period. What was that time period? This circular is not applicable on one time period of 17, 18 or 18, 19. Please tell me what was the time period on which this circular will not have will not apply. If the transaction is appear in my 2A, then only ITC would be allowed. What was that period? What was that period? What was that period? For which financial year? First tell me for which financial year. First tell me for which financial year. Is it 17, 18 or 18, 19? कौन से फाइनेंशियल ईयर के लिए ये ट्रांजेक्शन और ये जो एक्सक्लूजन है, इट इज एप्लीकेबल फॉर विच फाइनेंशियल ईयर? 17, 18 or 18, 19? The answer is only 17, 18 exclusion. See, relaxation is being given to the two financial years, 17, 18 and 18, 19. My question is, out of these financial year, they are putting some restriction that for this period, this circular will not help. It means ITC has to appear in 2A if you have claimed. The period was financial year 17, 18, and there was an extension for ITC from October to March 19, extended time period. If I have taken the ITC in the extended time period for 17, 18, between October to March, then the transaction has to appear in my 2A. Can you please tell me the reason? And this is my last question. Can you please tell me the reason? Can you please tell me the reason why this harsh provision is being there? Why they are saying that it should appear, otherwise we will not give the ITC. We will not allow you even based on the certificate. What was the logical reasoning behind that? This is my last question. This is my last question. The answer is because 16 subsection 4, that extension order number 2 has added proviso in the 16.4, and that is the reason, because they have added the proviso in the act. They have added the proviso in the act, so it cannot be challenged. By this, from my side, it's done. Over to you, Srinivasan sir and Nagesh sir. Nagesh sir and Srinivasan sir, one question is there in private mode. Let me take. Can we claim the ITC in the food and beverages in the manufacturing company? See, probably if it is compulsion by law to provide by employer to employee. So I'm talking about 17 subsection 5 clause B and third proviso after third clause given by the employer to the employee as a compulsion of law, then ITC would be allowed, otherwise not. So over to you, sir. Srinivasan sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Very lucidly explained the provisions, taken to the core of the subject. And the most welcome thing was the putting the people on the toes for making the provisions, so that everybody will be concentrating on the subject and listening the things. Otherwise, people will miss out the hearing concept. It's a nice approach to transfer the knowledge.
Thank you, sir. Always welcome. And I think it's first session with the association.
Yes, sir. It's very first session, sir.
So thank you so much for providing the opportunity. In future, I would also always be there. No problem at all. We can discuss. And I really extend the warm welcome and really appreciating the effort made by Srinivasan sir. So Srinivasan sir is also associated or helping the educating members to resolving the query in the very fast manner and very accurate manner. So sometime we need to take the support of Srinivasan sir, and mainly if the query is real estate sector. Apart from all the queries, they are providing excellent support to the educating. So very much thank you so much, sir, for this and extended support to all the educating member. And thank you to all the participants for patiently listening.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Mr. President Nagishangi to say a few words about the session.
Thank you, Arunji. Just we remember the childhood days, in fact. So giving answers in a competitive motto, each and everyone. I think all are aware of almost many answers, but they are unable to type in time. Anyway, it's a good session and experience is excellent. This thing. So thank you very much, and we definitely, as you said, we have. Again in future also similar sessions. Thanks a lot, Arunji, and all participants. Thank you very much. Srinivas Garu, as usual, a big thanks to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So shall I close?